Hello, my friends. It's happening. It's actually happening. Somebody is putting Amber in her place live where she doesn't have time to concoct a narrative. She doesn't have time to think of a lie. And it's glorious. This is one of the best things to happen in Girl World in a long time. Basically, Tammie called in and Amber was not expecting it, even though Amber had said to Tammie, "Why don't you call me on my live?" And Tammie was like, "Hell yeah, I'll do that." But Amber changed her mind, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Amber tries to keep Tammie from calling back and tries to get her off the phone, but bless her heart, Tammie just barrels through and creates one of the greatest moments in Girl World history. In my last Tammie video, I was starting to express a little bit of, not doubt necessarily, but I was starting to wonder kind of where all this was coming from, what Tammie's motivations were. I was concerned a little bit that she might just be wanting some attention or whatever, because there was some information being shared, but it wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't anything new. And the receipts that she showed really didn't show much, didn't prove much. But whatever doubts I had, whatever trepidations I may have expressed are gone. Because I get it now. I understand exactly what's happening here. And when she talks to Amber, I think you'll understand too. Basically, up until now, Tammie had been getting all of her information about Amber from Amber's videos. And now that she's seeing the other side, her eyes have been opened. And I'm gonna have to split this one up into two parts because this first one is gonna be a little longer and it is all the setup. And it includes a lot of Amber really trying to squirm out of responsibility, twist the narrative on the fly, which is not something she's really able to do. But the second half will be the real juicy family drama stuff that actually ends up exposing a lot of lies that Amber has told in the past. So this is going to be two videos, but both of them are equally just wonderful. This is such a great time to be alive in Girl World. But let's get into it. Let's watch Tammie dismantle Amber and leave her basically speechless. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would literally be hectic. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna start off here because this is before Tammie calls in and Amber is just having a great time. You know, just what a great day to do a live.
So this person said this, right? On Wednesday. Hey, you said you've been getting a lot of these messages, but I've been thinking about the situation almost nonstop and wanted to chime in. You're 100% right. This situation is insane.
So basically she's saying she got a message on Instagram talking about the Tammie situation. Remember, she said that a lot of people have told her that they used to like the reaction channels, but now they like her. And they're so sorry for watching reaction channels.
A lot of people have been just like, Amberlynn, I used to be like a fan of the reaction channels. Like, I used to love the reaction channels, etc., etc. And so many people are just like, I'm sorry.
So she is supposedly reading a message from somebody on Instagram. Now, could it be real? Maybe. But if it is, this person's an idiot. Also, real quick, it says my last day. Apparently, it's because Amber was going to start a new diet. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so that's what this message is.
Like others have said, I always haven't been on your side, but I've been watching you for 9 years. That's a long time. So I've seen you lie and then admitted it afterwards. And this is clearly not one of those cases. Anyone not taking your side in this is blind. Anyone who believes that this is okay for an aunt to be talking about her niece to a hate-based reaction channel is mentally unwell.
I love how they say, I haven't always been on your side, but then they say that your aunt went to talk to a hate-based reaction channel. Sounds like you were on her side already. I can absolutely see her just typing this up and reading it. You know, if you can pretend like she actually takes accountability, and if you think that's accountability, then you're just watching her channel. You're not actually getting the other side where we can point out what's going on, what's actually happening. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that she starts off pretty much the entire live by reading a message from a former hater who now is her buddy.
You intoxicated right now. You're slurring your words, eyes rolling, and acting strange. I smoked some Delta. Not gonna lie about it. Um,
Are we surprised? No, not at all. Of course she is. The person who knows that it gives her the munchies, who is 500 and probably 60 or 70 pounds at this point, because she is looking much bigger lately, decides to go ahead and smoke some Delta. Why not? You know what? YOLO. Actually, I think that'll make this live far more interesting.
I want to say when people like were seeing how I was reacting to my aunt, like that's frustrating for me to hear. Like this is the real Amberlynn because it's like, bro, what you're seeing is me split. It's called splitting. When you literally turn into someone that you're not, like you're so hurt by someone, like when you have BPD, you're so hurt by someone that you genuinely, you're so overwhelmed with emotion, like you cannot regulate those. So that is
Oh my God. Wow. She just can't take responsibility for anything she does. All she had to do was say, yeah, I was mad. I was angry. Because that's normal, right? We would understand if she said, hey, my aunt's talking about me. I was angry. Whether it's justified or not, right? We would understand why it's happening. You know, we understand that Amber's the shitty person in this situation, but anger makes sense. But it can't just be she was angry that her aunt was talking about her. It has to be I'm splitting. It's a special thing that only happens to very special people with special types of BPD. It's special. I'm very quirky and special like that. I don't get angry. I become somebody I'm not by splitting. Have you ever seen the movie Split? That's what I did. Like, shut up. You just got angry. It is not that deep. It is not that quirky or interesting. You just got angry, you weirdo.
what you're witnessing. So it's hard because 99% of the time you guys are witnessing me as like pretty chill, just chilling. And I only ever come out as a bitch or come out angry is when it's demonstrated to me first, if that makes
See?
sense.
Only when it's demonstrated to me for I am such a good person, you guys. I would never get even angry at anybody unless somebody is mean to me first, you know? Like, shut up. Oh my God. She is so full of shit.
That doesn't mean, oh, we saw Amberlynn's true colors or this is the real Amberlynn. Like it's not fair. BPD is an actual observable. I hate that word.
I hate that word. Any word that she stumbles on, I hate that word. She hates a lot of words, but yeah, it's just BPD is the excuse for every single thing she does, whether it makes sense or not.
You can actually observe BPD in your brain. It's like an actual brain deformity. So when people sit there and they're like, she can control these things, genuinely, sometimes I can't. And what my aunt was doing was not only triggering and wrong and hurtful, like it shattered me. And I could not regulate those emotions. And a lot of people messaged me and said, girl, I don't even have BPD. I don't even have these things. And I would have been more pissed than you. I would have aired out say like
And that's the thing. We understand being mad that your aunt is talking about you. Again, whether you're in the right or not, that's not the point. The point is we understand the emotion. We understand just being angry. You don't have to pretend like it's some special, amazing, quirky thing that you're doing.
because literally in my live stream, I'd be like, well, I know things, but I'm not gonna sit here and like say them. People would message me and be like, I would have like popped off.
Yeah.
So it's like
She knows lots of things, you guys. Those things, and if you're not careful, I'm going to say those things that I definitely know.
I'm trying my hardest over here. And it was just triggering for more reasons than one. Like she would bring up so many things that happened in my childhood, which was triggering. Then she would bring up things that happened between me and her, which was also triggering. Um,
Triggering. Everything is so triggering for her. Honestly, I don't think she even knows what that word means. Just basically anything anybody says that she doesn't like is triggering. You know what? I honestly, the more she talks about BPD, the less I'm convinced that she's been diagnosed with BPD. Like I already didn't think she was, but the more she talks about it, the more convinced I am that she's not diagnosed with it. She's not helping herself.
she started the war, and I'm just fighting back. I'm trying to protect myself, protect my innocence in this all, share my side.
Protect my innocence in this all? That is such a Darvo narcissist thing to say. I am innocent in all this. She's just attacking me for no reason. Now, there may not be a specific thing that you did like in the last year that caused this, but she wouldn't be doing this for no reason. The fact that she has the audacity to say, I'm trying to protect my innocence in all this. God, she sucks, man. So basically, she goes on and on about her aunt and the triggering and all the stuff that her aunt has been saying. And Tammie's watching. And Tammie is like, I've had enough. And so she calls.
It's like with those Zoloft and it actually working, I don't have that like extreme feeling anymore to live stream. My aunt literally just tried calling me.
Here it comes.
Hello? Holy I messaged her and I said, "Stop calling me. It's ruining my live stream." Um, yeah, it's just weird energy that she's literally sitting there watching my live stream, calling me, and I'm telling her to stop calling me, and she won't stop calling me. Like,
And remember, Amber was the one that said, you can come on my live stream and we can talk about it. And then when Tammie actually calls, she's like, I'm telling her to stop calling me.
hold on. What's it called?
Who is she looking at? She asked, what's it called? And she looked over at somebody.
By the way, the what's it called?
Who is she talking to? That's a little weird.
Hello?
Hello?
I don't even know if I'll be able to hear.
Okay, I hear myself through your audio, so can you like pause me?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay, so you're clearly watching my live stream and I said I don't feel like doing this anymore, so why are you calling?
Yeah, I clearly told you I don't feel like doing this anymore. I wonder why. I wonder why Amber would say she doesn't feel like doing this anymore when Tammie's totally up for it.
Because you can't run my name and multiple family members in the dirt for decades and think you're just going to walk away that easy. I'm finally done. I'm finally ready. I got the receipts. I got the proof. I'm not afraid of you, Amber, unlike all your other victims. I thought I had seen and heard everything that you've done over these years, but I was so blind. Blind by your manipulation. And when I seen half of the videos that I've seen with documented proof of how you treat people, not only in our family, but people in general, you are one vile, disgusting human being.
And look at Amber's face. She's just like, can you guys believe this? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I have to deal with. You know, that's going to be wiped right off her face pretty soon. This little smirk, this little smug look right here, that won't last long. But I think Tammie finally started seeing the other side, because I think Tammie has seen Amber online through Amber's videos. So I don't think she's ever really paid much attention to the reaction channels to see what Amber really is like. She sees the manufactured reality that Amber shows. And I think Tammie started seeing Amber for who she really is when the Emily stuff broke, because Amber came out swinging and trying to Darvo her way into the Darvo Hall of Fame. And anybody with a brain could see that's what was happening. And I think that's kind of the tipping point for Tammie, where she was like, maybe Amber's worse than I thought. And then she goes down the rabbit hole of watching the reaction channels and the documentaries and stuff with documented evidence of the way she acts. And she's like, wow, holy shit, I had no idea how bad she actually was. And she's surprised that it wasn't just with them, it's with everybody.
I want nothing to do with you ever again, including your mother. Your mother, your whole family, your whole Reed family is nothing but vile, disgusting degenerates that manipulate and abuse. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you name it, you guys do it. And you do it proud. But I see it so clear now that I don't want nothing to do with you. But do you think you're going to continue to lie about me and the family members that I do care about and get away with it? No, you're not. I will continue to tell the truth. The difference between me and you is I have the truth to tell, and I have the receipts to back it up. So you want to know why I'm listening to your live right now? The reason is just to see what bullshit you're going to say next. And sure enough, it didn't take long. You try to say that you cut off talking to me. I've been looking over texts for the last days, and I have so much proof, time and time again, where you're begging me to talk to you again, where I blocked you. I quit watching your videos. You kept begging me, please watch, please watch. I don't want to lose you, Auntie. All the lies you told me that I caught you on, called you on, you'd apologize, and then do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah, and that's what Amber would do, is she just acts however she wants to act. And then when it blows up, when it inevitably gets to be too much for somebody and they get tired of it, she is like, oh, fine, I'm sorry. But then she goes right back to doing what she was doing before. That's Amber's MO. She doesn't know how to be anything other than just a terrible person. But notice that the smirk is slowly draining and it will be completely gone shortly.
So that's just the tip of the iceberg. What do you want to respond to that?
What did I do in the last 2 years to you?
And that is her go-to in all of this is, what did I do? What big single thing did I do to you in the last 2 years? And if you can't answer that, then clearly there's no reason for this. She's hanging her entire argument on that. There was no specific incident over the last 2 years that caused this. Therefore, I'm right. And there's no reason for Tammie to do this. But what she doesn't understand is, like I said in my first Tammie video, it's death by 1,000 cuts. And you finally hit the last cut.
In the last 2 years. Okay, let me see if I can explain this. It's not an easy black or white answer or an answer that you can get in 2 seconds because like I keep saying, I've been doing this your whole entire life. So you have a person that has fought to be in your life your whole entire life in one way or the other, no matter if you've seen it or not. And you didn't meet me at 17. You met me when you were 14, when I went to California for the first time after 16 years. Remember you getting the pot of spaghetti out of the refrigerator and using the really huge utensil, taking big scoops out of the pot onto your plate where your fucking dad said, I think that's enough, Amber. That's my first memory of you. And you still continue to pile on your plate. Yeah, that story goes around our family year after year after year. So
and Amber's like, that got her, right? When she talks about how she would eat too much, then she starts going, that made me sad.
anyway, that's the first time I met your ass. And then, from then, I tried getting you through the foster care because you painted the story. It was so bad. And then you even put me down for it that time. Your mom came in the picture, destroyed that. So then you went on to my mom's house. We all know what happened with that. You got kicked out for what? Being disrespectful. Surprise, right? So then you go on to Casey, and then Crystal, and then Destiny, and then Becky. The whole time, I'm in the background, loving you, supporting you, encouraging you.
And having no idea who Amber really is, having no idea how horrible Amber is to each of her partners and to everybody around her, how selfish she is, how entitled she is, how narcissistic she is. Because on her videos, she paints herself as a victim. And that's all her aunt ever saw, was a victim. This poor girl who is being dragged through the foster system and having to deal with all of the haters and all of the drama. And so Tammie just doesn't see what's really going on. Now, at this point in history, Amber is young. And this is painting a picture of the type of person Amber is based on what she was, because she hasn't taken any steps to change. She hasn't done anything. She will say all day long, I've worked on myself. I'm so much better now. But she's never done anything to help herself, to change.
Sharing every bit of my diet with you, exercise, financial, telling you things, and yes, I have all the proof. I'm not trying to be your mother. I'm trying to be your person. There's other text I have where I say, I'm saying this because that's what a mother would do. So we continue going down this long, as you know, all this time, right? And then we get up to the current last 2 years. Who is the happiest person in this world for Amber to move to Oklahoma City? It was me, your aunt. Your mom didn't want you to come. She was very nervous about you coming because of the destruction and stress level that you bring with your just presence. That's the truth.
I understand that completely. And that's what we've been saying too, is Amber says, my mom doesn't do drama. She doesn't like drama. If I was involved in drama, I wouldn't be in her life. Girl, you are drama. You are drama. Your whole life is drama. So I can understand your mom being a little nervous about you living there, because I bet that's all you bring to anybody you're around is drama and stress.
I, against my whole entire family, would say things like, I know you guys are worried, but I'm so excited. We have texts showing that excitement from when you're going to get here. We're going to hang out. We can't wait. We can't wait. I wanted to diet with you. I wanted to exercise with you. I was so excited because, as you love to point out, I was very successful on keto. Pandemic happened. Other things happened. I started putting back on my weight over stress, and I've been trying to get back on track, which I am again currently. So I thought this is going to be great for the both of us. You get here. I see you one time. I try to see you, and I'm told I can only see you with your mother.
Interesting, because Amber paints a very different picture.
She had all these promises of, oh my God, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna do that, but never once did she wanna hang out or do this and do that. Once I was finally here.
I question you about it. You say, oh, I was just nervous. I haven't seen my family in 14 years and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then you didn't reach out to me after that, ever.
That's weird. So this aunt who Amber claims that she has wanted so bad. She's always wanted to have a relationship with her aunt. And she questions daily, why is she doing this? Why isn't she talking to me? I just want my aunt. I just love my aunt so much.
I have cried to not only my mom, but I've cried to my grandma about why is my aunt doing this? Like, why has she decided to like take out her anger that she has on my mom? Why has she decided to take it out on me? Like, why didn't she say happy birthday to me? Why didn't she invite me to Easter? Like, why won't she respond to my text? Like, why won't she call me? Why won't she come visit me? Like, she knows I don't drive. She knows I don't have a license. Like, she has a license. She drives. She has a car. She has the freedom that I do not have. So she has it like one step easier. Like all of these things that she promised, like, oh my God, I'm gonna come over every day. We're gonna like the list goes on. Like none of that ever happened, and it's not because of me.
And when her aunt says, hey, let's hang out, Amber says, well, yeah, we can, but my mom has to be there with us. Why? I wonder if Amber's gonna explain that, because that's weird.
Not once to come over, pick you up, go do anything, say anything. There was nothing, so I wait. November, you reach out to me because you want something, a vape. December, you reach out to me, you want something, a vape.
Did you hear that? Amber reached out to Tammie because she wanted a vape. Now that's interesting. So I wonder why Mama Lynn, I assume Mama Lynn probably didn't want to take her to get vapes. Or maybe they were having an argument and Mama Lynn wasn't going to take her. So instead of calling her mom, Amber thought, well, I'll just call my aunt. She's just 15 minutes away. Maybe she can get me a vape. That's weird.
Checked in when I had COVID. You said Merry Christmas. I had COVID. I answered you the very next day. Happy late Christmas. Then nothing in January. And then you send me a picture in February. So you want to know why I'm mad? Because I fought for you for freaking years. And then when you finally get here, I'm left. I'm left in the cold. You and sister are going to museums and here and there. And I'm told I can't see you without my sister. So yeah, that pissed me off.
And Amber was the one that said she didn't pick sides. I never picked sides because I wanted my aunt and my mom, and I wanted them to get along.
I think that the reason why she has tried to take the side of her mom and not...
I have not taken no sides. Show me where I've taken a side, Jordy. Or even Tammie. Show me where I've taken a side.
I would say, and maybe I'm way off base here. Maybe this is a crazy thought. But spending all of your time with your mom, and then when your aunt says, let's spend some time together, and you say, only if my mom is there, that sounds an awful lot like you picked sides. Like you are absolutely leaning into your mom's side. Now, I understand it's your mom, but you said you didn't pick sides. I didn't say that. You said that. And that is absolutely picking sides.
I did quit trying. I mean, how much more reality did I need in my face? You're here now and you still have nothing to do with me. So you want to bring up me and your mom's fight, right, as the reason. No, me and your mom's fight is not the reason we don't talk. You are the reason we don't talk. You are in your 30s. You can use a phone, you can text, you can make arrangements to spend time with your aunt, and you chose not to because me.
And that was something that stuck out to me when Amber said, I saw my aunt, we spent some time together, and then I hugged her goodbye and said, you need to come over sometime.
When I hugged her goodbye on Thanksgiving, I was like, I can't wait to see you again. You should come over. She never took the steps into doing so.
Like she never invited herself over. Like you have to invite her over, and it's not like you can go pick her up. So yeah, you have to be the one to invite somebody over.
Me and your mom were in a disagreement. And if you want to get down to the nitty gritty of the disagreement, we can do that, but it's pretty freaking messy. Not sure if you're ready for that one. Any other questions?
Well, I want to respond to the fact that, yeah, it is true. I was feeling anxious to see my family again. And my mom is, I don't know, when I'm around her, she's that, calmness that I need. And it's like, I know it's like sad to say, but like I felt that in all my relationships. I've always been in a relationship, and this was the first time like I was finally single, and I didn't know how to be without someone right by my side. And so my mom was that for me. Show me where I've taken a side.
Her aunt and her mom were equal in her eyes. And it sure sounds like it.
Nothing to do. It felt easier for me to be around family that I have not seen in 14 years if my mom was there. That was an anxiety thing. It was a coping thing. It is what it is. So I'm sorry.
So whose fault is it, Amber? Is it
It was a coping thing. It was, again, Amber has said all this time that she loves her aunt so much, and all she wanted was a relationship with her. And I was such a good niece, and just for no reason, she just cut me off. She didn't want anything to do with me. And yet she's saying, I don't want to be around you unless my mom is there. That is just so dumb. And it's childish. So I think she just didn't want to have anything to do with her aunt, and she used that as an excuse. Like, and I would bet money that the conversation with her mom went something like this. Aunt Tammie wants to do something, and her mom was probably like, ugh, really? And Amber's like, I mean, I'll go if you come with me. I think Amber and her mom probably talked about Tammie a lot. I would not doubt it for a second. I bet they are snickering and talking about how weird she is and how horrible she is behind the scenes. I can see that happening because I think Mama Lynn probably tried to poison the well when the argument started happening over what we'll find out in a little bit will be their mom's house or Amber's grandma's house. That started this big argument between the sisters. And I think Mama Lynn has been poisoning the well, talking to Amber about Tammie and about how Tammie's so greedy and Tammie just won't, be a good sister and stuff. When Tammie was the one that took care of Mama Lynn for decades. When her own mom wouldn't do it, when Amber wouldn't do it, when nobody else would do it, Tammie was there. And I would bet money that Mama Lynn has been telling Amber that Tammie's so greedy and such a terrible sister. I'm going to go back a little bit because listen to what she says here.
It had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do. It felt easier for me to be around family that I have not seen in 14 years if my mom was there. That was an anxiety thing. It was a coping thing. It is what it is. So I'm sorry.
So whose fault is it, Amber? Is it your fault or is it my fault that we haven't seen each other? Because the narrative that you're telling is different.
So
put it out there. Whose fault is it, Amber?
Yours.
She gives all these excuses as to why she couldn't spend time with her aunt without her mom there. My anxieties, it was coping, it is what it is. Amber is not denying that she did say that her mom had to be there when they hung out, or if they were going to hang out. But when Tammie says, whose fault was it then that we didn't hang out? Amber just can't take responsibility, just can't admit that she could be wrong or that something could be her fault. So she says, yours. Even after admitting her mom had to be there, even admitting when it was the anxieties and using that as an excuse, it still somehow is Tammie's fault.
Since I've been here, every time I have seen you has been with my mom because my mom was putting, her pride aside. She was putting her hurt aside. She was putting all that aside. And, huh?
Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you.
And she was putting all that aside for me. And that was something that she was willing to continue doing until I felt comfortable. Yeah, and I did after, after Thanksgiving, I did. And that's why when I hugged you goodbye, the last thing I said, I can't wait until you come over. I can't wait. I even said it to, I don't want to say your daughter's name. I don't want to bring anyone's name.
You can say any of our names. We have nothing to hide.
Okay,
So think about what she's saying there. She's clearly painting her mom as this saintly woman who put her hurt aside, her pride aside to deal with you, to deal with the person that hurt her. And she was doing it for little old me. My mom decided to come put up with you so that I could spend time with you. Isn't she great? Now, I don't know about Mama Lynn. Now I'm starting to question a lot of things in girl world. But that's the picture that she's painting, is that Tammie is clearly the aggressor, is clearly the one causing all the problems. And Mama Lynn was rising above that so that I could see you with her. You know what Mama Lynn could have done is just stay out of it. Because you're an adult, Amber. You could have called your aunt. You could have gone and seen her by yourself. You didn't need to drag your mom into it. She wouldn't have had to rise above it or swallow her pride to go see your aunt. You know what you could have done is just called your aunt and spend time with her, or just talk to her on the phone or something. But no, my mom, she braved the lion's den for me.
Also said it to Ashley. And I was like, I can't wait for you to come over because I genuinely enjoyed my time on Thanksgiving. That's why I'm so taken aback by this whole situation. So,
And after Thanksgiving, I heard that my sister talked a whole bunch of shit about Thanksgiving over at my house, once again, opening up my home to you guys.
See, I knew it. I knew that that's exactly what was happening. Is they go and they're cordial or whatever, but Mama Lynn hates Tammie right now because of the house thing. And we'll get into the details of that in part 2. I just had this feeling that Mama Lynn is behind the scenes just talking about how terrible Tammie is, what a terrible sister, when Mama Lynn likely would not have any relationship with Amber right now if it wasn't for Tammie. She wouldn't have a pot to piss in if it wasn't for Tammie, because Tammie took care of her all the time that she was in prison, all the time that she was on Skid Row. Tammie made sure that she was taken care of. And now she talks about her like that. And she swallows her pride to see her on Thanksgiving or whenever. Like, I'm starting to like Mama Lynn less.
Putting everything on at my cost, my joy to have my family in my home. And at the end of the day, when I thought it was a wonderful day as well, guess what I got to hear? How y'all talk shit. I don't even know what the shit was. It was supposed to be so vile that it couldn't even be repeated.
I didn't say anything bad about the time at your home. I genuinely enjoyed my time there.
So first of all, I don't believe that. I think she joined in with Mama Lynn. I'm sure they were both sniggering a little bit. I'm sure they were making fun of her house. I'm sure they were making fun of some things she said or whatever. And it was Mama Lynn being vindictive and being mad that her sister is raising a stink about the house. And I think Amber joined in. I'm sure she giggled along with her and joined in on the making fun. Even if she didn't, she knew it was happening. And what she could have said was, Mom, that's your sister. And I know you guys don't get along, but come on, we had a good time. But you know that's not what Amber did. At the very least, she giggled along with her mom.
And then, I wasn't invited to anything Christmas related, which honestly hurt a lot. I literally bawled my eyes out.
She literally bawled her eyes out because she wasn't invited to anything Christmas, even though she would not go around her aunt unless her mom was there. But then when she wasn't invited to Christmas, I bawled my eyes out. I want my aunt so bad. God, you can't have it both ways, you dingus.
Hurt a lot.
Okay,
So-
again, I don't want to interrupt you, but when there's no contact from October, November, into December, with the exception of wanting a vape, why would I invite you and my sister to Christmas?
In December, I talked to you 3 times.
Especially after finding out that your sister and your niece have been talking about you behind your back. And Amber didn't reach out to Tammie at all in that time. So why would Tammie think that all of a sudden they're back to having a great relationship and they should hang out on Christmas? It's clear that Amber is painting a very different picture than what actually happened. She's trying to be like, I didn't do anything, you guys. I was just sitting here. And my aunt and my mom are just mad at each other. I don't know. Shut up. You had every opportunity to just be around your aunt if you wanted to be, as you claim you wanted to be.
What, 3 times, Amber?
One of them did involve a vape. The other 2 times was to check in on you regarding your health because you were sick. And every time we did communicate was because of me. No, you never messaged me. May I have a reason for why is it always me that has to message first then?
It's not always you. It's absolutely not. And I have the receipts to prove that. Unless you're talking about only between October
That
and
is correct.
February.
That is
when
correct.
when you got here and I see the true colors, that I was never going to be your person in any way, shape, or form. Because you would have reached out. You would have. I heard through my mom how you cry and boo-hoo and you at her house going, well, I don't understand why I can't talk to my aunt. Why can't I talk to my aunt?
That is
Is
correct.
that true?
That is correct.
And what were you told? Were you told you couldn't talk to me?
I would cry because it hurt because it's like
Were you told you couldn't talk to me? Did anyone say, Amber, don't talk to your aunt, don't call her, don't text
Yeah, I'm wondering why you can't talk to your aunt. I'm bawling because I can't talk to my aunt. Why? Is there like a law? Is it like no aunt's day? I don't know. What the heck are you talking about?
I read
So
between the
again,
lines.
did anyone tell you at that point when you were boo-hooing several times about not talking to me, did my mom or my sister tell you you can't talk to me?
So I wasn't boo-hooing.
Yeah, you were.
I was crying. Can you not mock me, please? I was
Oh my
crying.
God. See, and she's going to do this a lot. Like I said, I've watched a little bit of this kind of towards the end, and she does this a lot where she tries to make Tammie look bad. Tammie's angry. I understand Tammie's angry. She's finally letting all this out, but this is a narcissist thing. She has no argument. And so all she's going to do in this entire thing is play the victim and try to make Tammie look bad as much as she can.
I was crying because I was hurt by the situation, because I was slowly reading between the lines that you wanted no communication with me, because I was always the one to message you first.
She says that a lot. I was reading between the lines, which in my eyes, what happened is she just didn't give a shit. She just didn't bother. But when it comes back to bite her, when somebody says, hey, you didn't contact me, she's like, Will, I was reading between the lines. I didn't get anything from you. So obviously you didn't want anything to do with me, and that's her way of, again, pinning everything on somebody else.
Your responses were very dry. You didn't seem like you wanted to communicate. You would never text me first. So that is finally when I was like reading between the lines of like, okay, this woman wants nothing to do with me, because you didn't even invite me over for Christmas. I didn't know that I had to talk to you every single day. I didn't know.
Exaggerating and making it seem more extreme than it really is. She's trying to make Tammie seem unreasonable when that's not what Tammie said at all. That is a narcissist thing, is trying to make yourself look like the normal one by painting the other side as unreasonable or weird by exaggerating what's actually happening.
I mean, that's how I'm feeling, because
You truly are a piece of work. I tell you what, your manipulation is just like, it used to work. It used to work. It used to catch me. It used to slow me down and give you the benefit of the doubt. But I just see it too clearly now, and I don't even know if I want to entertain you anymore, because you can't own anything. And again, I mean, we're talking decades of text here. I'll watch a video and something will be brought up, and I'll be like,
notice Amber has not said she has done anything wrong through any of this. Everything is, why couldn't you have? Why didn't you do this? But you didn't, but you didn't, but you didn't. It's the whataboutism. That's all Amber has throughout this whole thing.
what the heck? All I have to do is go to my messages and put in simple words that were talked about. And then our conversations come up word for word.
yeah.
You have abused me, Amber. You have manipulated me, Amber, for a long time because of the love I had for my sister and for you. And you used that, and you manipulated me to be the person when I would never be your person. But you led me to believe that for a long time. We can talk about all the different topics, being your mom in prison, you writing her, all that. That's long text threads of the bullshit you came up with for that. Did you owe your mom anything? No, but you said you wanted it. The text started with you asking, not me going, you need to. You wanted it, and I was the in-between person helping you. Without me, you would not be in your mom's life today.
See, I believe that. Absolutely. Tammie is the reason Mama Lynn has really much of a life at all at this point. And of course, Amber took that situation with the whole writing her mom in prison when she basically just didn't do it. She could have. She bought all the stuff for it. She went and bought all these really nice letter covers and stuff so that whenever she has correspondence with her mom in prison, she could keep it all.
For when I save my mother's and I's prison type of letter deals, I got this really cute, it's actually peacock, like what? Peacock binder for that.
You have to send her paper too?
Yeah, I have to send her paper, envelope, stamps. And then I got this bubble mailer thing, and I realized, I Googled it after I bought it, and you can't send bubble mailers to jailmates.
I thought you said your aunt said that.
Well, my aunt said it, and then I Googled it.
Oh.
So, that's the thing. I'm gonna have to go back. And then I got these little sheet protectors for when I put the copied letters inside of the binder. I don't want the pages to get ruined, so got some of those. And last thing I got was line paper, so I can write her college rule, because that's the way to go.
And then she never wrote a single letter. And then now she uses it for sympathy. I had the letter written and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to send it.
Like, I wrote her this whole long thing. It was like updating her in my life, and I'm a very long-winded type person. And like, I was gonna send it. I was, but something was telling me not to. Like,
Why? I understand that she was a terrible mom, but you're the one that said you wanted to do it. Laziness. She's too damn lazy. That's why she doesn't go to therapy. That's why she doesn't do any actual work, because it's easier to say she's gotten better. It's easier to come online and lie and say, I have been doing DBT. I have been doing therapy. I am so much better now. You guys wouldn't believe.
I have improved in ways that you guys can't see because you don't see me in a day-to-day life.
That's easy. Actually doing the work requires effort. And that is not something she's ever going to do. And that's why she hasn't changed at all since she was 20 years old.
Without me, my sister would not be in my mom's life today. I have always been forced to be the in-between person. Correct?
I don't know.
You don't know.
See? She, instead of just saying, yeah, you were, and that must have sucked, and I'm sorry. If she was a good person, if Amber had an ounce of goodness in her, she could have just admitted, yes, you helped this family. That's it. That's all she has to say is, we appreciate it. I am so glad that you did that for my mom. She can't even do that. She has to say, I don't know. Shut the fuck up, Amber.
Shit.
I know I've
What
made.
about your uncle raping me? How about that for a family drama, huh? And then you go on and be a victim to others? Like, that's just weird to me.
What? I feel like I know way too much about this family, but geez Louise, that sucks.
In our family, and you put that word around like it's light as hell, right? You used the wrong word, right? When you accuse somebody, an innocent person who at the time was young as shit.
Oh, look at her forcing herself to cry. Like, shut up. She is trying so hard to look like the victim here. And the reason she's doing it is because she knows that there are enough people in her chat that will buy this nonsense, that will buy these tears, and will give her that narcissistic supply. Because she's going to need it after this. She's going to need those ass kissers after this. And I will never understand how somebody can watch this. I mean, I don't understand how anybody likes Amber anyway, because after you watch her for 2 or 3 episodes, how do you not see how full of shit she is? But anyway, anybody who can watch this live and then still be on her side, there's just no hope for you. You're brain dead.
Did I ever get, I'm sorry that happened to you? No, I was expected to keep taking it, keep taking it, keep taking it. I used to use the excuse, my sister had to take it because your dad would beat her up when she tried to stand up to me. Over it, right? So instead of getting the support of my family, I had to stay shut up about it so my sister didn't get beat.
Wow. And Amber has the audacity to sit here and cry as though she is the one with all the trauma, as though she is the one that should be pitied right now. She's trying to one up, right? She's like, look how sad I am though, you guys. I'm crying. Look, I'm so sad too. Don't pay attention to what she's saying. I'm so sad. Tammie's been through some shit.
Okay, so that's some pretty bad shit, right? But tell me why when we just went to California, your mom had to go see your dad. Had to go see him in person. I refused. She left me in a car so she could go in and see your dad, the man that is behind so much of this, including my chapters. The man I despise more than anything on the face of this earth. And your mom, in sobriety, in recovery, chose to go see that man eye to eye. You don't think that hurt me? But I kept taking it, right? And I kept being a sister. So you're not the only one with damage, Amber. The difference is I don't let it be an excuse. I've had some horrible things happen to me too, all while trying to help you and your mom for decades. And you know what happened during that time when I was so focused on you and your mom and your fucked up family and everything that comes with it? Guess what? It made me sick.
What a messed up family. What a messed up situation. And it seems as though, as terrible as Amber's childhood was, it seems as though she got off pretty light being in that family. Because from what we've heard from Tammie and knowing Amber's a liar, I would imagine that those foster homes were not nearly as bad as she claims they were. She got to go to Disneyland, you know, so they couldn't have been all bad.
Can't focus this long and this hard on other people and not have it take away from your life. You have, your dad has, your mom has, and you all play victim. And I'm done. Anything else you want to talk about?
Regarding like the way I was like when I was a teenager in my 20s, like yeah, like I have been very transparent. Like I wasn't a great girlfriend.
No.
I probably wasn't a great niece. I wasn't a great anything. Like I was broken. I still am. But the difference now is like I try very hard to take accountability where I can, and
Oh, shut up. Oh my God. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in so long. I try to take accountability. I guess, you know what? I think she's right. She tries to take accountability when she can. And in her mind, she can't. Period. Her mind will not let her take accountability for anything. She will never take accountability. So, you know, the whole when I can, maybe she's onto something there. God, that's so dumb. Is the accountability in the room with us, Amber?
like especially when Beck was saying all those things, like I admitted to things that I would never want to admit to out loud. Are you kidding? But one thing I will stand by is everything I said about Casey is 100% true.
I wish I could believe you, but I can't based on everything.
I don't.
can't.
I genuinely
don't believe you.
I genuinely.
That hurts to say it.
I don't care if you believe me or not.
She is triple, quadrupling down on Casey stuff when now knowing what she did with Emily.
And then I landed into her and she was falling. I went to grab her. It didn't work out very well. She still landed on the floor. And then she started like hysterically, how come you pushed me? I'm like, what is actually happening?
And also with the kind of rumors or the allegations that came out in the Jade era. Either she pushed Jade down or something like that happened. I don't know. But there was some physical things that might have happened in the Jade era. And all the sleep deprivation techniques and all that stuff. That paints a picture of Amber being the aggressor. And so when Casey came out and told his story, that lines up with what we know about Amber. Now, we don't know Casey very well, only what he's been, able to show online. But the story that he tells sounds a lot like Amber, sounds a lot like something Amber would do. But she claims that it was him, that Casey was the one that did all of that. And I just don't buy it because we also know that Amber stole Casey's coming out story. So I just think Amber is trying to twist that story, Casey's story, and make it so that he is the bad guy.
But all I'm saying is based on the person I know you are, I cannot believe it 100%. If it did happen to you, I'm sorry it happened to you. If it didn't happen to you, karma's a bitch.
You're not sorry, but
And Tammie's not wrong. Karma is a bitch. And honestly, what's happening now with Beck speaking up, Emily speaking up, and then now Tammie setting Amber straight, this is reaping what you sow. We have said for so long, one of these days things are going to catch up to Amber. And that's what's happening here. She has gotten away with it for so long because people were afraid to speak up. But not anymore. We have officially made it to the find out portion of the show.
questioning that is sick. First of all, I shouldn't even have to sit here and talk about it because you during the Kiwi Farms days were sitting there saying that I never had that happen to me when I was 7 years old, and my mom had to tell you, yes, it did happen.
If you go back and read it, or even the current ones, I say I wasn't around during that time.
Well, remember that.
Was on your dad's side. I thought it was his sister, and then I had heard about it from you, but I wasn't around. I don't know what happened.
Please
So
remember.
how can I say if it happened or not?
Please remember those words. You weren't around.
Mm-hmm.
Remember.
When you were 7? No, I wasn't. And you want to know why I wasn't around? Because of your mom. Ask your mom.
Well, and here's the thing. She wasn't around. And again, that's very convenient for Amber. And I don't want to question victims. But I reiterate, when she said, I consider harassment as an assault.
When I said that they would essay me, when I use the A word, assault, I consider harassment as an assault.
I lost any amount of sympathy I might have had for her. Whatever little belief I had in anything she said went right out the window. And lately she's been saying, there's been this trauma that I didn't remember, but my body remembers.
How do I heal from that? From each thing, from things that I don't even remember, but my body remembers.
I think she heard that somewhere. I think she heard somebody say that. And now she uses that because she can't tell you what it is. She just says, my body remembers. And for somebody who is so sexual, apparently, that seems to be at odds with that sentiment that her body remembers.
Why I wasn't around. Everyone wants to know, where was Aunt Tammie when they were in foster care? Where was Aunt Tammie then? I was there the whole time crying for you. You don't know that because you were just a little kid. Ask your mom why I wasn't there. She's told the story a million times to protect me. She didn't want me to see what y'all were going through. That's a sad-ass excuse, I know, but that's the one your mom gave me year after year after year. Remember when you came to my house in Oklahoma before your mom? And us going into the garage and sitting on the floor of the garage and me showing you all this paperwork and poems I wrote and things that I did to try to find you guys and that I never, ever gave up on you guys. The poem I wrote to my sister saying I just have to, like, I can't keep doing this. I'll see you in the gates of heaven. Do you remember any of that? Does that sound like a person that wasn't there or didn't want to be there? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. There's your answer.
And the whole you weren't around at that time, that wasn't really Amber saying that you should have been around. She was just saying, in fact, she was glad that her aunt wasn't around because she was saying you weren't around so you don't know what happened. And Amber's glad for that because that way Tammie can't refute anything Amber says. So Amber wasn't saying you weren't around and I wish you were. Amber was saying you weren't around, so you can't talk about this. So this, in Amber's mind, her not being around during that time is actually a good thing because she can tell whatever story she wants and Tammie can't refute it because she wasn't around.
I was in the Florida Keys, you were in California, and I could only do what I could. Let's put timestamps on there. Who was Aunt Tammie at this time when Amberlynn Reed came into this world? Her first and only niece. Let's see. Tammie lived in the Florida Keys. She had her first daughter at 16 and 88. She had her second daughter at 17 and 89. And in 1990, her sister came from California to Florida to get off drugs. Did for a little bit, got pregnant. I was in the delivery room with your mom giving birth to you, literally. Joke about that today. And then shortly after that, you were a few months old and your mom chose drugs again.
So wait a minute. Amber has said all along that she is a drug baby, that she was born with substances in her system. But Tammie is saying that her mom was clean during that time. So there's another lie.
And left Florida Keys, went to California, and that's where the story continued of our separation. But I never gave up. I found you on MySpace, remember, after all those years? I came and seen you when you were 14. Your foster care people, or whatever, state custody people contacted me. I didn't have a pot to piss in. I was getting ready to be disabled from all my trauma, all my counseling and stuff. I was in the midst of my own hell.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I don't remember you coming to visit when I was 14. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm telling you that whole thing is completely blocked out of my memory.
Well,
And
that's one thing
that
I
honestly
can believe you about, because
genuinely scares the shit out of me because when you're saying that spaghetti story, do not remember that at all in the slightest.
I would guess that the only thing she remembers are things that either can give her an excuse for trauma, right? She will remember bad things that people have said, or, you know, when people were mean to her or something like that. She'll remember that. Or she'll remember things where, like, she got something out of it. Whatever she remembers will completely revolve around her and her happiness or lack thereof.
I remember no part of your dad saying, Amber, that's enough, and you still putting more scoops on your plate.
No,
You're
I do
sitting
not.
at the kitchen table in the trailer. I remember it.
No,
Of course, I was, as you guys like to say, obsessed with you. I was. I've been obsessed with you since the day you came in this world. You were my one and only niece. I wanted it so bad.
that's why I'm like confused, because like I'm being accountable. Like the shit that I did in my 20s and teenager, like it's bullshit. Like I am fully aware of that. But there needs to be some nuance, and I had undiagnosed borderline personality disorder due to all the trauma of my childhood. It makes sense that I was absolutely unwell, and still to this day I am, and I thank God for maturity and for aging, because I feel like that's the only reason why I have come as far as I have.
She hasn't come anywhere. She's not gone anywhere. She hasn't done a single thing. But again, it's easier just to say, I've come so far. That is really easy to say. She hasn't done jack shit. Look at her relationship with Emily.
It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before a shift. That happened one time, and I followed you in there with my BPD meltdown, my tantrum. Yeah, I did.
She may be worse now. She's delusional.
Like, I'm still young in my brain due to the trauma. Like, it's obvious. Everyone says I'm immature, I'm childish, I'm this or that. Like, I do have some age regression, but I mean, I'm fucking 34, so I'm gonna be just naturally a little more mature in some areas. And when it comes to me and you, we have not had a falling out in the last good like 5 years. That is why I, in my opinion, have been so beyond confused by why all of this is happening. Like, in my opinion, how I saw it was after the whole Kiwi Farm.
This rocking back and forth, she will say it's a trauma response. I guarantee you she would say it's because I'm a victim and it's trauma. I think it's her mind is racing so fast to try to think of lies and to think of excuses and to try to twist things to where she's not to blame for anything, that it's like all that energy is flowing down to her body and she's got to do something to sort of keep her calm while she's thinking about things. Her mind is going a mile a minute right now.
Farms thing, like where you were.
Which, by the way, a mile a minute, have you ever heard that saying? It sounds like a lot, but that's only 60 miles an hour. That's not that fast.
That was the last falling out we had. And I thought that.
And I understand, let's just touch this, because there's a lot to cover, and I get that. And I don't want to ever seem like I'm cutting you off, but I don't want to get too far where we don't handle certain things. I will admit Kiwi Farms was not the nicest thing for an aunt to do. But again, it's when you push me to the end. When I've had enough, I've tried and tried and tried and got slapped around by you, by your lies, by your manipulation. And again, I have it in text. So it's not just hearsay.
And I get what Tammie's saying there, but man, going to Kiwi Farms, that might have been a little too far. I mean, it was a little too far, but I can also understand getting pushed to that limit. You know, I can understand being related to Amberlynn and getting to the point where you're like, I need to say something, but I will say that was not a great look for Tammie going to Kiwi Farms.
Let's talk about the most important part of this equation, my sister. You act like you have a great relationship with my sister today, and that's a lie. You talk horribly to my sister. You treat her like shit. You make her your taxi, your Uber, your this, your that. I hear it all, Amber. And you should realize that by now. I don't have to be in your physical presence to hear about what goes on in our family.
Yeah, we all knew that. We all knew that Amber takes advantage of her mom. And she will say, oh no, my mom loves to do this stuff for me. I have a great relationship with my mom. We just spend so much time together. But that's got to get so old. Amber saying, I need a new vape. I need some food. I need to go do this. I need to go do that. And treating Mama Lynn like her personal chauffeur. That's got to get old no matter how much you love your daughter.
I think you can tell by what I say. I know what I'm saying because you know it. You've been there. You have treated my sister like shit so many times since you've been here. And you try to control her. And you make her take time off work to do the stupidest shit. Things that you could schedule when she's not at work, but because you only think of you, you do it over and over and over and over and over again.
I would like to speak, please.
Okay.
What I'm hearing you say is that grandma is telling you things, and I think we can both admit she gets her stories completely wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah, grandma's telling you all this stuff, but it's not true because grandma's old and she's going to get all these stories wrong. So everything she told you, it's actually the opposite.
I'm around her, so I know this. I hear her speak and say stories of things that happened while I was there, and she has it so twisted and confused. I can't even believe it. Secondly, I do not make my mom take off of work. She has taken off of work a couple times, and it was either for vet reasons for my animals, or it was for reasons where I had to go to the doctor, like because I had to go to get a test done or whatever it may be. And
I do not make my mom take off work. She has taken off work a couple of times. You see the problem there, right? She said, I don't make my mom take off work, but she has taken off work a couple of times for me, for my pets, or for me to go to the doctor. Like, you see how that is you making her take time off of work, right? That's what that is.
they weren't open. Like, I don't know what to say about that. Like, they
I
weren't
just hear
open.
excuses with that. Sorry, vets have Saturday services. Vets have after-hour services. My sister gets off.
Yeah, it just takes a tiny bit of effort, tiny bit of not even research. Just look into it a little bit, and you can figure out a way to not inconvenience your mom, to not make her take off work for most things. Now, the doctor's appointment, maybe less so. There are urgent cares on Saturday and stuff like that. But the doctor thing, I mean, that kind of is what it is. But the vet, there are absolutely ways to schedule vet appointments and stuff like that when your mom is not at work. And I don't believe that that's all there is. If she's admitting that she had her mom take off work a couple of times to take her pets to the vet or to take her to the doctor, I'm guaranteeing it is a constant thing. I bet she does it a lot. And it's probably for really stupid reasons, like to go get vapes and stuff. Because whatever Amber admits to, it is far worse than that.
May I finish
4 and
what I was
5,
saying?
So you could do that. So she did take it off for that. You going to the doctor? Okay, that's not an excuse. You can make an appointment. You can take an Uber. I mean, you can do DoorDash. You can take an Uber to a doctor's appointment. My sister doesn't have to lose money to take you.
Well, she doesn't lose money.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't lose money for leaving a couple hours at work. Her job is very nice like that. And
Oh, yeah. Jobs are known for just paying people to leave for a few hours and take their daughter places. You know, there are some jobs that are kind of flexible, but they're not going to pay you while you're out doing personal stuff, right? They may be flexible and let you leave. You know, they may be flexible with your schedule, but they're not going to pay you while you're fiddly farting around taking your daughter places. So she absolutely is losing money. But Amber is so naive and so self-centered that she doesn't think of that. When she thinks of, my mom's job lets her do these things, she thinks, oh, she must also be getting paid, because why not? But no, she's not getting paid to do that. She's just being allowed to do that.
Anyway,
she has not.
that's the least of our importance. But you don't treat my sister well, and I just want you to know that I'm very aware of it, and so is she.
My mom has never taken days off of work. I have never asked her to do that. She has taken hours. So say I have an appointment at 11, she'll get off at 10 and then go back to work maybe 12 or 1. So that has happened maybe 3 times since I've been here, and I've been here for 2
Translation, 12 times.
years now. As for the vets, I finally got a vet that is open on the weekends because I do not want her taking off of work.
Oh, yeah. Well, how convenient. Now that you're talking about it, what do you want to bet? After this live, she's going to go Google vets that are open on Saturday. I'm sorry, Chat GPT. What vets are open on Saturday near me?
And
Or she won't. She'll just keep making her mom take off work.
I think having a doctor's appointment and my mom actually wanting to be there by my side during those times, it says more good than it does bad. I would never force my mom to do anything. I ask her, and more than anything, she offers.
Think of what she's saying there, right? She's saying, I don't make my mom take off work to go to the doctors. In fact, she loves to take off work to take me to the doctor. So that just says how great that she is. If you think about it, I have a thing that needs to get done. My mom is so excited to do it for me because I'm awesome. Why wouldn't she be? So that just shows how smart and great she is. Because, again, I am the tits, right?
I guess it just depends who tells the story.
Huh?
I guess it just depends who tells the story, but I hear you.
It's unfair to me that you're believing like gossip. It's sad because it makes me not even want to have a relationship with my grandma because when I go
She
over
doesn't want to have a relationship with you, so don't worry about that at all. That's why you don't go over to her house. When's the last time you went over besides the very last time? Besides that one, Amber, when's the last time you were over
Like
at my mom's?
two weekends before that.
Yeah. I know you guys take pictures and you put it in your videos, so I pretty much know when you're
Yeah,
there. And also, I was talking to my mom about 3 to 5 times every single day. So to think I don't hear what goes on every single day, pretty obvious I do. You know my mom. You know how she is, right?
Yes, that I'm also like
So-
confused because
So like she'll tell you one thing, she'll tell my sister one thing, she'll tell me one thing. We all know this, but there's still the common. You don't get up till after 3, so my sister can't do this or that with my mom.
We knew it. We knew that she gets up late in the afternoon. She probably goes to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, sleeps until 3. Yeah, of course that's the case. God, what an existence, you know? That's all it is, just an existence at this point.
Because Amber, she don't get up till after 3. I don't know how many times I'd hear that over and over and over again. Now she can't make any plans with my mom to go do her nails or bingo anymore because she has to Amber. It's all about Amber.
if I'm
Your
being
fault.
I am not surprised that, of course, everything has to revolve around Amber. How weird is it that a 34-year-old woman sleeps until 3 in the afternoon? But I guess if you have literally nothing going on in your life, literally nothing other than eating and filming yourself, talking about yourself for a couple hours a week, that's it. If you have nothing else going on, why not sleep all day? What else are you going to do?
If I'm being quite frank, I only see my mom once a week. It is on Saturdays. Sometimes Sundays. That is when we will go to grandma's. But that's the only time I see my mom. I don't see her throughout the week.
So think about that. She is home alone, doing nothing all week long. So the therapy that she claims she's in is either non-existent, which is most likely, or it's online. And I understand that there are probably some good online therapies, but that's not what she needs. She needs some serious therapy. And I would wager it's probably BetterHelp if she's doing it at all, which she's not. But if she was, it would probably be BetterHelp because that's the easiest way to do it. But that just shows that she's not going anywhere. She's not doing anything because she refuses to take Ubers anywhere. She's too embarrassed. She's not going to waddle down to somebody's car and get in the car. She just will never do that. So the only person that takes her anywhere is her mom, and she only sees her once a week, which I would say is probably even less than that. Because if she's saying once a week, it's probably once every week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. So she does nothing. She does nothing.
talk to her on the phone. I message her. I see how she's doing and stuff, obviously.
So you guys don't go to Friday bingo no more?
No, I do not. I go to bingo once a week, and it's on Saturday.
I wonder why. I wonder if it's because your mom got tired of your bullshit.
So I spend 24/7 alone, and I feel like it actually has made me grow. Like, no pun intended, not like that. But
That's all it takes, guys. You got BPD, just spend some time alone. That's all it takes to become a better person. You know, you got any kind of mental illness, just spend a bunch of time alone. Spend all your time alone. Then by the time you're done spending all that time alone, you're going to be perfect. Take it from Amberlynn Reed, the person that understands how to grow.
I love living alone. I love being alone. But anyways, I'm gonna start rambling about that. Back to grandma. I'm actually taken aback right now because when I'm around her, we laugh like, oh my God, I can't even, like, it hurts our ribs. We laugh so much. We have such a good time. Like, I help her when she's walking. Like, it's just confusing because we always have such a good time. And I never, besides on my birthday, that was
Are
like,
you going to tell me that you guys have never gotten an argument while you've been
Yeah,
at
on my-
mom's about the way that you talk to my sister?
on my birthday, we got into an argument. We did. But I
You
mean,
also got into it about having my sister give you your shots too, right?
so I started crying, and my mom was like explaining how she's totally fine with it and stuff, and it started to make me feel guilty. Where I was like, is my
You
mom actually like just saying she's not triggered? But no, she's not triggered because she wants to take.
You made her be like that, Amber.
All right, this is one of the most important things that gets said in this whole thing, and it's a small thing, but I don't want to miss it.
Is my mom actually like just saying she's not triggered? But no, she's not triggered because she wants to take.
You made her be like that, Amber. You made her feel like she can't tell you no.
That's it right there, 100%. Amber assumes that her mom just loves doing stuff for her. She assumes that her partners love doing stuff for her, but that's not it. Because in her mind, They don't say no, so obviously they're happy to do it. But what she doesn't understand is she has made it to where it is really hard to say no, or it's really uncomfortable to say no, because if they say no, she throws a fit. She has a temper tantrum.
And I followed you in there with my BPD meltdown, my tantrum. Yeah, I did.
And so they just say yes because it's the easiest thing to do. They don't want to deal with her bullshit. That is everything. That is Amber's life. And that's why she thinks everybody loves her so much and that she gets along with everybody so much. Because in her mind, if they didn't want me to do this thing, they would just tell me no. But telling you no gets the temper tantrums.
Because you keep bringing up the past all the time.
May I finish what I was saying?
Now she owes you everything. So yeah, she's afraid to tell you no.
And that is absolutely true also, is that Amber is always making sure that you, and by extension her mom, because you know her mom watches her videos, or at least Amber assumes that her mom is watching, and she is always bringing up her terrible childhood and how horrible it was and how traumatic it was. And she knows what she's doing. She doesn't have to say, my mom was horrible, to make her mom feel bad for being a horrible mom. All she has to do is talk about her childhood trauma, because it all comes back to her mom. And so if her mom ever starts forgetting that she needs to make up for lost time, Amber just keeps reminding her.
May I
You don't want
finish?
to do that.
May I finish
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
continue now.
My mom knows her favorite word. She tells me no about a lot of things constantly, and I just accept it for what it is. I just say, okay, I call it
Bullshit. I just don't believe that for a second. Nope.
today. So that's not true.
That's funny, because whenever I tell you no, I got to go on and on for fucking hours and text. I'm a horrible person.
So
But why don't you
again, I'm not in my 20s anymore. So
I'm
can
not
we?
talking about just your 20s.
We obviously are, because
No,
I
we're
mean,
not.
me and you, we haven't even talked in 2 years. So it's like, how can you sit there and like still hold me?
You realize that 2 years ago you were 32. So I'm not sure what the argument is here, that like, we haven't talked since I was 32. I have changed so much since then. Like, no, you haven't. You haven't even changed since you were 20. So
To some standard of who I was in my 20s, or when we talked more. I've changed even
Have
in
you
the last
watched your
year.
videos, Amber? You are a recycle, repeat. Like, there's nothing new about you right now. You are the same person you were yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Watch your videos. Watch reaction videos. It shows it over and over again. Rinse, cycle, repeat.
100%. Absolutely. She has not changed a bit. You can go back and watch her videos from like 2019, 2017, and the mannerisms are a little different and some of the word choices are a little different, but she is the same person. Her reactions to stuff, the way she treats people, the way she completely obfuscates accountability, it's all the same. She is the same person.
You haven't changed, Amber. I wish you had, but you haven't.
Okay.
Okay.
But all she has to do is say she's changed. I've changed so much, you guys. So it's true.
Do you know why me and your mom's not talking?
Yes.
This is where it gets juicy. So I think I'm going to stop this one here, and I'm going to cover the juicy bits in the next one with the house and the family drama and stuff. It gets pretty crazy. So we'll get into that in the next part. But yeah, this is awesome. I just love this so much. And it's just because Amber is finally getting a comeuppance that she has deserved for so long, with no real way to wiggle her way out of it. You know, she is desperately trying to twist the narrative on the fly, and she can't. And it is so fun to watch. So I'll see you again in the next part as soon as I'm able to do that. But yeah, this is fun. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.